Fridays or Fast Fridays. We had a final Fast Friday, and it was really good. And each Friday has gotten better and better and better since we started doing these philosophies of the days. And today was extremely fast. And I appreciate their attention to detail. Appreciate what they did and what they came with today. And now, as we just talked about, as we walked off the field, as we circled up as a team. This is the players-only day where the players-only meetings are taking place to go back in and go through all the things that they're going to have to be able to handle, communicate, and do inside the white lines on game day. There could be something that comes up in those things that they'll come and check with us about, but you always like the fact that they empower themselves and understand it's a players' game come Sunday. So a good day, and now we got to get on and get ready to roll. Questions?
You, when you took over as the interim head coach, you had all the organizing to do to get going, but now you're all the way at the end of that shift. At this point of the season, what are the things that you do as head coach to influence the team game week?
On game week, yeah, everything we do is about preparing to win. We try, and what we do is that we try to focus each day that way. And we can't recreate the contact that happens on a game day, but we can recreate the focus, and that's every single day. And how you do that, and then you're not surprised, and it's not some type of a miscommunication because of the focus that we do every day. So, now we got to make sure we take the final couple of steps to get ready to go for Sunday.
How personally do you try to lead in a week like this?
Always, it's what we do. It's the job we have, and then the people inside that. By the position areas, once you get outside on the field, the players have got to take control of that. But I've always understood that, and I've always mentored that, and players have to rise above coaching come game day.
Is Ward out for Sunday?
Yes, he is out. Yeah, I got that officially today. And Vallejo got that officially today.
With Ward's season being done, can you give us your overview of, obviously made the...
I just had a really good year, and I'm sure that there'll be a lot of things that when he steps into the arena next year that he has a good feel for. And that first year is light and just dark and light and day, night and day, I guess I want to say, night and day differently from the college game. And but we'll take care of that, come back. When the off-season program gets started and all those things, he has to get on and get ready to roll, and he'll have a game here maybe a few weeks from now. We'll see, how he goes. If he is able to play a few weeks from now, we'll see.
Hesitancy about him playing in that game?
Those are big things, and those are things we have discussed, yes. And we'll see, and again, the protocol will determine that. It'll be, what they say.
At this stage here at the end, who are the guys who have emerged as the team leaders?
The guys that you see out there going out there for the coin toss.
The Ravens running as much as they do, and you're down Christian Kirksey and now Tanner Vallejo. Like, how do you adjust? And is that a big thing? Because
we've been adjusting every week, and again, remember, this will be another big test, which will be another thing to validate and evaluate. But think about, the dominant running backs here at the end of the year we've been playing against, leading #1 rushing attack in the leagues, and how we've had to go about doing that. So this is not something that just all of a sudden arises. It's a different style. There's more attempts, so there's more different people doing it instead of just one dominant running back. So we've got to, understand how we go about playing as a defensive team and not just an individual player, right?
With Denzel Ward, you've referenced several times now that he has to get lower and change his technique. Has he been receptive to that?
Yes, and I think all of a sudden, when it's his idea, it'll be all the time.
One of those guys that goes out for the coin toss is Tyrod. So, how has he handled kind of being a leader, also losing that job?
You want to talk about class? His picture's in the dictionary next to it, and he has been outstanding. And what lots of people don't see him do is the constant leading in every aspect when he comes into the building. He and I, we compete on who's here the first in the morning. And then I tell him all the time, I beat him when I stay here all night. You know, otherwise, when I go home, I can't get here in time. But with times I go ahead and stay here all night, you know, I win those competitions. The picture he presents on offense. Think about this now. You know, Lamar Jackson's a pretty good football player. We got a pretty good guy showing this in practice right now. He's been doing that style of offensive scheme for a long time. So the picture he has presented in practice this week has been outstanding. There hasn't been a lot of extra coaching that has to go on to get him to understand how he's doing things on the scout squad. Classy individual, and I've known him for a long, long time. Like I said, you know, he and my son played together at Virginia Tech, so I've known him for a long time. Good young man.
In terms of preparing for Jackson's running style, is it much different or pretty much the same as Deshaun Watson?
There's similarities, but each person poses a different thing. You know, poses a different style. You know, he does it his way. Schematically, there's some similarities. You know, but you know, he's not Cam Newton either. You know, and all the guys, you know, they have their own persona in that respect. It's what makes them good.
In terms of, you had to pull the players together, but did you also have to kind of galvanize a staff that all of a sudden became worried about their futures or concerned
You're talking about a long time ago?
No, I mean, this season, you have a whole staff
Sure.
full of coaches that don't know
Sure.
what their future holds.
That was part of it at the time too. Yeah, and that's part of all that had to come on. That's not only, you know, it was from a coaching staff, operations staff, equipment staff, training staff, strength staff, maybe even marketing, maybe even PR, you know, but all that, you know, all those things go hand in hand when you have that chair. And you have to respect the chair, and I've respected this chair a long time. And but yeah, it goes hand in hand, and some can, some can't. And I'm okay with it.
How do you think your staff handled, the uncertainty?
They've done a very good job. They're very pleased with that, and I think Freddie and his guys have done a very good job with this. Blake's done a very good job. Amos has done a very good job, and then if I don't mess things up, we've all done a good job.
I asked you this last week, so apologize, but it seemed to me like from social media and the website, there were a lot of players out in the community before Christmas and the holidays. Was that unique to you, and what does that say?
Thank you for asking that. And there's been a lot of things that comes in play here where the encouragement of maybe somebody has been pushing them to do a little bit more of that. And when I would say this, there's a lot of things that have taken place in the building here in the last part of this season that I've never seen before. Okay, and from that type of thing going out and touching, feeling the community, especially kids. I have a huge foundation for kids too, and these guys have all been in those same spots, but I couldn't have been prouder. We couldn't have been prouder of how much they did to do those things, and taking time out of some of their own personal families' times. It was outstanding, and that's how the community and the team bonds together. There's a real good young football team in that locker room, and in just kind of maybe posing the things out there to them, and they grabbed it and ran with it, and very proud of that. Yes.
Any idea when you will be interviewed for the head coaching job?
Those are things that after the year, we'll talk about that after the year. Still on the Ravens, and can't lose any focus on, except for this is going to be a tough game. We got to play it.
What kind of test will this be for Garrett and Agba in terms of setting the edge and against
All that, yeah. And not only them, Avery, Jamie, all those kind of guys, whoever, because you see how the multiplicity of things of who we have, playing the edge of the defense. But it's good, and we've got to do a very good job. Not only there, them, but I think this team is dominant up inside. I'm talking about the Ravens dominant up inside, and people haven't really tracked as much of the inside run game that they have going. And we've got to do a good job as a whole, in all honesty.
It looked like Myles came close to several sacks last week, but wasn't able to finish them. So what do you say to him after a game like that?
Keep going. Don't flinch. Those are things that rush and coverage have to work hand in hand. But what a lot of people don't understand is that he causes incompletions too. He speeds up the pace of the guy who has the ball in his hand, and just keep going. Okay, and he understands that, and he can only be as fast as he can be, And then all after that is we've got to do a couple things to cause a reset by the quarterback. We've got to do a couple of things, in a coverage thing to make him hold on to it and find somebody else, and then he finds Myles.
Do you track missed sacks?
Pardon me?
You track missed sacks?
We track everything. Everything, yeah.
Baltimore's a good team that's coming off an exemplary win over a Chargers team that have been red hot. And in the past, there have been some Browns teams who would say going into a game like this, the Browns don't have a realistic chance. And what are the things that give the Browns?
This is not one of those teams. That's what I would say.
What makes what
They understand, and they understand about. Doesn't make any difference what happened in the past. What happens this Sunday doesn't make any difference. This is a different team.
Warner, when Denzel missed the 2 games before, it looked like TJ was doing a good bit of shadowing the best receivers on the opposing
I would,
team.
and again, it's up to you guys to take a look at this, but a comment that I made to him a week, 10 days ago, I think you would have a hard time taking a look in the last 6 or 7 weeks of seeing a corner that plays much better than him in the entire league. And you can take a look at some of the things, analytically, statistically, that kind of stuff, but he has played very well. And the longer you're together, there becomes a better feel for me to help him, for us to help each other as a coach. A lot of people don't understand until you get a chance to be on the field, touch field, and go with guys, the little bitty nuances that you can do to help somebody. And each person is different. But he and I have, and all of us have grown together, and I really, really, really think he's played very strongly, this last half of this season, yes.
Preparation do you do for Joe Flacco, whether or not Lamar had to get hurt or they decide to make a move?
We have that, and that's been part of our plan all week long, and really is that what causes us not to understand that could be a situational thing, not just for at the end or whatever, it could be any part of the game. Could be a third down thing, could be a 2-minute thing, could be, it could whatever. And so we have that, and one of the things we even stressed today in our meetings is for players to go back on their own to take a look at, we had an overtime game. We've got a lot of time on task that way. Played them last year too, but that is in our thought process, and we can't control that. We just got to be ready to roll.
I don't want to risk ruining your reputation, but on a personal note, and I don't want to speak for everybody, they can disagree, but, there's uncertainty ahead. I think we all appreciate your patience and cooperation. It's been a kind of an odd year, so,
And I appreciate you all too, I really do, and in all honesty. And as you all could understand that my middle name is Patience. But it is, we all have a job to do, and the fact that, you guys are Cleveland natives and stuff, and I can't tell you how much fun I've had being here. And, I chose to come here and turn down other opportunities, other parts of the country. I've lived in almost every time zone now. But, I wanted to get this experience, and I think this is a great place to be. You guys have done an outstanding job, sorted through a lot of different things, too, for the year. But how about let's go get one more, and let's sort through this win come Sunday, all right? Thanks.